Hi guys, welcome to the new video. I hope you all are doing well. So in today's video, I am going to show you the step-by-step process of how you can apply for your Canadian passport once you have received your Canadian citizenship certificate. So if you are in Canada and you are eligible to apply for your Canadian citizenship, I've already made a detailed step-by-step video on how you can apply for a Canadian citizenship, and you can find the link for that video in the description. But in today's video, I will show you how you can apply for your Canadian passport once you receive your Canadian citizenship certificate. So let's start with the video. Before we start with the process, I do want to let you know that if you're new to my channel, I do make a lot of informational content for immigrants, and if you're new to my channel, you can check out all the videos and they might be helpful for you. So now let's start with the process of applying for a passport. Now let's get started with how you can apply for your Canadian passport. Once you have received your Canadian citizenship certificate, you are eligible to apply for your passport within the next 2 to 3 days to make sure that all the information has been entered into the system. I will show you today how you can apply for your passport in person by going to a Service Canada center. You can also apply for the passport by mail by posting your form to the designated center. But today I'll show you how you can do it by going in person to a Service Canada center, and it's a very easy process and you will receive your passport within 2 weeks. So let's get started. First, I will tell you what all documents you will need, and then I will show you the entire form that you need to fill and how you can fill it. So let's first talk about the documents that you will require to take along with you to the Service Canada Center. So the very first document will be your Canadian citizenship certificate. That has your Canadian citizenship number, so you need to take the original certificate with you to the Service Canada Center. They will not keep it with them, so they will just photocopy them, validate it, and then they will return the certificate back to you. The second document would be two pieces of IDs, so they need to be federal or provincial pieces of IDs. So I would recommend you can take your driver's license as well as your health card with you. Again, they are not going to keep it, they will just simply photocopy it and return both the documents back to you. The third thing you need is two passport size photographs. So you can go to either a Staples or a Shoppers Drug Mart and get two passport size photographs for your Canadian passport. They will know what the requirements are for the photograph and they'll click the photograph for you. Now the important thing to note is that make sure that the photographs are also stamped by Staples or Shoppers and they are also dated. So it is very important to have the date as well as the stamp from who is clicking the photograph on the back of the passport. The other important thing is that one of the photographs should also be signed on the back by your guarantor, and I'll talk about the guarantor more in detail later. Now the next thing you require, of course, is going to be your credit card, because you will make the payment for your passport at the Service Canada Center by your credit card. So the payment is going to be 120 Canadian dollars or 160 Canadian dollars depending on what passport you opt for. So for a 5-year Canadian passport, the payment is $120, and for a 10-year Canadian passport, the payment is $160, which you pay to the Service Canada Center by your credit card. Now there is a form that you have to fill for the Canadian passport, and I will in a minute show you how to fill that form and where you can find that form. You can also find the link for that form in the description box. Before we jump into how you can fill the form, let me give you details of two more things that you will require. One, a guarantor. So a guarantor is someone who is going to sign the form as well as back of one of the photograph for you, and the requirements for a guarantor has to be that they have to be someone holding a Canadian passport. So yes, they have to be a Canadian citizen and they must know you for at least 2 years. They must be above the age of 18. So these are the three major requirements, but you can check the other requirement also in the link which I will share in my description box. So find someone who ticks all these boxes and they are going to be your guarantor. And another thing you will require is two references. So you will have to find two more people who will be your references. Now these people can be anyone In Canada, they might not have a PR or a citizenship yet, but they must know you for the past 2 years again. But then again, you can read out the detailed check boxes of who can be your references in again the link which I will share with you in a minute. I'll also share with you more details about who can be a guarantor and a reference. Okay, so I will share with you the form, but before that I do want to show you that I will be sharing this link also with you in the description box, but what your guarantor needs to do and who can one be. So they will be signing on your application form, also on one of your passport photographs, and they must be above the age of 18, have known you for 2 years, must be a Canadian citizen, and have a 10 or a 5-year Canadian passport. And then we also can see here in the link that who can be your reference. So your reference also must be above the age of 18, have known you for at least 2 years, and agree to you using their name and contact information for your application. So the reference does not have to sign the form, but at least they have to give you consent to use their name and information to put on your form. Now let's look at the form itself. Now let's look at the form. So this is the adult general passport application form that you will need to fill and take along with you to the Service Canada Centre. This is a very simple form to fill, and I will also share in the description the link to get this form. So the first field would be your personal information. You'll put your last name, given name, any former surname that the parents use, your place of birth, your country of birth, date of birth, current home address, your mailing address, email address, etc. You will also need to sign it and also date it, and also mention which city or province it was signed at. The second section you see here will be the declaration of guarantor. So this is the section which your guarantor will need to fill and sign. So the guarantor also needs to put in their surname, given name, date of birth, the Canadian passport number, and the information regarding the Canadian passport, the date of issue and expiry, their relationship to you. So they can be anyone, your friend, some of your relative, but not your immediate family member. And they also need to give their home information about their home address. Then they need to sign it. They need to tell for how many years they have known you, and also mention the date when it was signed by them. The third section will be regarding your Canadian travel document. So if you have ever had a Canadian travel document in the past, you can fill that information. If not, you can just select no. The fourth section is regarding the proof of Canadian citizenship. So this will be your Canadian citizenship certificate and when it was issued. So the information regarding that. Part B also asks you if you were born outside of Canada, some of the details here. Again, the citizenship certificate number and the date of issue is what you'll need to fill in here. Then this section you most probably will not need to fill, but do read all the instructions. The fifth section is the documents to support your identity. So here you will give the information about your proof of IDs. So as I had mentioned earlier, you can use your driver's license as well as your health card here. Put all the details, the type of document, document number, expiration date, and your name as it appears on the document, and your signature. Then you select how long you want your passport to be for, 5 years or a 10-year period, and then you give additional personal information like your address, your occupation for the past 2 years. You need to give the employer information, address, phone number, field of employment, and from which date to which date you were employed here. The eighth section is the references section. So the same references we spoke about, you need to give a reference of 2 people whom you have known for the past 2 years or more. You have to give all their information like their surname, given name, the relationship to them, their address, email address, and their telephone number. And you also need to mention how long that person has known you for. And the ninth section would be your emergency contact information. So that's it. That's all the fields required. Other than that, this is a checklist. So this checklist you can check and make sure that you have everything you need to take with you to the Service Canada Center. So you need to take all 3 pages of this application form. You need to take 2 identical passport size photographs, and then they have also mentioned that they need to be signed by the guarantor. You need to take your citizenship certificate. You need to take your ID documents, which is again your driver's license and your health card, and you need to take the fees, which is going to be paid by the credit card. So you simply can take your credit card. And then if anyone is applying by mail, you also need to fill up this section, because here you are going to fill up all your credit card information, because you will be mailing this form. And they have also given instructions here that if you are applying by mail, here is where you need to send this form and all the photocopies of this form too. Alright, so that was the entire process of filling up the form and gathering all the documents that you require for your Canadian passport application. Now once you have gathered all of it, you can simply go to a Service Canada Center. There might be a lineup and you'll have to wait, but you simply go there, submit your documents, and they are going to give you a reference number for your application. You can also track your application online, but most likely you will receive your passport within mail in the next 2 weeks. But if you also want to expedite the process, there is an option to do that with a little fee as well, with which you can get your passport in a week or so. And you also have an option to collect it from the Service Canada Center instead of getting it mailed for you. So you have all those options. You can discuss it with the person you're dealing with at Service Canada. Now, if you find that this information was helpful to you and it helped you apply for your Canadian passport, do hit the like button. If you think that this might be helpful for someone else, or you know someone who is going to apply for the citizenship or their passport soon, you can share it with them. And if you have any questions, you can ask me in the comment section as well. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, do so, because I will be making a lot of informational videos for you. And I will see you in the next video. Till then, bye everyone.